Clearly, the plan wasn't to be in this position again. But we're here. Now it's up to us to respond and react.
I think there's still plenty of fight out there. We're getting better as we go. Every opportunity we get to throw at these guys, you know, we improve from it.
If you're asking for someone to point the finger at, then you should point it firmly at me.
I think we showed we're a pretty tough bunch. You know, we got to ask some questions. You know, I feel like we answered them with our performance on the water.
We've shown we can beat these guys. This isn't over. They haven't handed over the trophy yet. And we're going to come out, we're going to get stronger, and we're just going to focus on one race now. There is no second.
There is no second.
Hello and welcome to beautiful Bermuda, this stunning island setting providing the stage for potentially the final act of the 35th America's Cup. I'm Alistair Eakin alongside Ken Reid, veteran America's Cup skipper and president of North Sails. Peter Burling's New Zealanders are standing on the cusp of greatness, with Jimmy Spithill's USA needing a sporting miracle to save them. 2 races in the schedule today in this 1st to 7 contest, so clearly it might all be over after just a single race. The Kiwis now leading by 6 points to 1 and within touching distance of the trophy. The Americans back from 8-1 to win in San Francisco 4 years ago, but can lightning really strike twice? Bermuda again putting on its best face. Glorious sunshine to complement its white sandy beaches and crystal clear waters. The conditions today not unlike yesterday. Wind speeds of up to 12 knots expected through the afternoon. So let's remind ourselves quickly of what happened yesterday. Peter Burling's challengers came in with a 4-1 lead going into the racing, and the defenders under Jimmy Spitthill were feeling much more buoyant after registering their first win. Let's see how the 2 races panned out. So race number 7 underway.
This is a head game between the 2 skippers right now.
The Americans take another little twist and the Kiwis are away.
They can't make those mistakes. No more mistakes. Being a second late for the start is the difference between winning and losing.
The Kiwis seemingly in control of operations at the moment. Jimmy Spithhill said it himself, speed doesn't come for free. They may have gained more boat speed, but they're having to work very, very hard. Peter Burling is in complete control.
Oracle's chewed up a little bit of this lead. Big angle differences.
So it isn't over just yet. Can they hold their nerve? Can Peter Burling hold on to this lead?
Oracle clearly in a desperate situation.
Little glance over his shoulder from driving Miss Daisy. New Zealand reassert their authority here in Bermuda. 10 seconds the margin. That is tight, but it is still an American defeat. Race number 8 then of the America's Cup match.
This is a must-win race for Oracle.
Who's going to hold their nerve now? Who's going to make the right decisions?
Oracle couldn't accelerate, and all of a sudden Team New Zealand has Oracle in a really bad spot.
Peter Burling outfoxed Jimmy Spithill.
New Zealand's gone.
The Americans, they are in big trouble at this point.
Holy smokes.
But this gap is not a big one.
This is all on. Tight match racing from Burling. He's trying to slay the dragon here.
And the Americans, they've now picked up a penalty. Catastrophic there from the Americans, down to 10 knots only. Look at the distance now. Final downwind leg. The New Zealanders have sailed an outstanding race right from the word go. The trophy tantalizingly within their grasp, and the Kiwis hurtling into match point.
Too many errors. If you make mistakes, you will get punished.
We've come here to try and win that America's Cup, and it may not look like it, but we're going to be better tomorrow.
So the first race of the day, not too far away now, race number 9 of the America's Cup match. And after 5 weeks of action here on the Great Sound and 60 races in total, this could be the last. Big crowds gathering on the shoreline. And the Americans, well, they found more speed in recent days, but yesterday their fledgling comeback brought to a standstill by the relentless excellence of the Kiwis. Helmsman Jimmy Spithill's been trying to summon the spirit of San Francisco, but he knows they're right up against the ropes. He spoke to Alec Wilkinson earlier.
Jimmy, they don't call you the pit bull for nothing, but do you actually have anything left in the tank?
Mate, we're going to leave anything in the tank on the water today. There'll be nothing left. The boys, we've all committed. We're going all in today, and we're going to put it all out there and leave it on the racetrack.
The boat, after racing yesterday, went straight into the shed. Was that so the shore crew could work on it, or is there nothing left to do?
No, that was for the guys to put it in the shed. I mean, look, it's one of the biggest motivating factors, just seeing these guys night after night just put in the blood, sweat and tears, and we're definitely going to be remembering that today.
You've got a different lighter setup today?
Yeah, we've gone for a lighter setup. We've got the forecast slowly coming down. We just went through it then with Juan Villa, our meteo guy, and it's, you know, it looks like it's going to be close to being in range, we think. You know, let's see what happens, but right now the trends look good.
If you're facing elimination, you likely want to do it with your mates. Swimming star Kai Hurst and offshore sailing legend Louis Sinclair, the only members of this veteran team that weren't part of the San Francisco comeback of 2013. Kinley Fowler, Tom Slingsby, Kyle Langford, and skipper Jimmy Spithill were obviously part of that legendary reversal. Is there another one in the cards? Boys, you got to eliminate the mistakes or it's over.
Well, what can you say about the New Zealanders except marvel at their brilliance on the water, their ability to shake off any difficulties, their total command of this America's Cup match. Huge support here for them. Their helmsman, Peter Burling, accepts now that they are on the brink of achieving something very special, but he just can't bring himself to consider the possibility of superstardom.
Yeah, well, we'll worry about that afterwards. You know, today we've made it no secret we've come here to try and win 8 races, and you know, and also the last race, and no, that's exactly what we're going out there to do today. You know, that's what we've come here to do, and you know, everyone on this team's been working incredibly hard for the last 3 years. So, no, we're just going to put the final touches on it now.
Would you agree this is probably the biggest day in your sporting career so far?
Yeah, well, yesterday was pretty big as well, and no, we're just taking it one step at a time. You know, we've you know, said all along that we've come here to try and win this thing. And, you know, to do that, you've got to get past this milestone, and we're just really excited we've got the chance to do that now.
The Olympic cyclist Simon van Veldhoven had been the only person on board the boat that's never been in a sailboat race before. Josh Jr., an Olympic Finn sailor, Andy Maloney, Blair Tuke, Peter Burling, all won the Youth America's Cup in 2013. The only member back from the nightmare loss in San Francisco is skipper and wing trimmer Glenn Ashby, who has certainly been the glue that has kept this team together.
So we have a great day in store, and once more the team's ready to go head-to-head in this incredible setting. Ken, the course.
Well, on the Great Sound of Bermuda today, the perfect racetrack again for the 35th America's Cup. The T-shaped race course includes a 2-minute start sequence followed by the critical reach to Mark 1. 5 legs with and against the light 10-knot southerly breeze, followed by a quick sprint to the finish just meters off of America's Cup Village.
So the battle line's drawn, the start line will emerge shortly, and a couple of different options for the two crews, but it is time now for the pit bull to bare his teeth. Jimmy Spithill has not been himself in recent days. He took full responsibility for the mistakes that cost his team yesterday, even a suggestion that he might even take himself off the helm today. Surely only ever a fleeting idea. Peter Burling has taken it all in his stride.
6 to kill. 4 to kill. 2 to kill. 1 to kill. On time.
So the USA have port entry for this first race of the day. They have a head start of 10 seconds into the entry box. It's been a very significant part of every single race, and one in which Burling has got the better of Spithill by and large, certainly twice yesterday. Let's have a word with Freddie Carr, who's a key member of the British team out here. He's out on the water for us. Freddie, do you expect Spithill to go on the attack here, or try to maybe keep his nose clean?
No, I expect Spithill to go on the attack. He'll be channeling the inner James Spithill of 2000 when he burst onto the America's Cup scene with Young Australia and dominated the pre-starts, and he needs to dominate this pre-start and get on the front foot.
Freddie, I think we heard Jimmy Spithill talk about how they're in a very light air package today, maybe even their light air boards, which I'm not so sure they're super fond of. With all that said, think that even lends more towards what you say. He has to be aggressive because they might not be as quick today.
Oh, I completely agree there, Ken. They're on their big foils, so it's a repeat of last Saturday where they lost the initial 2 matches. So for that reason, I think they need to get off the line cleanly and get to Mark 1 first.
Race number 9 of the America's Cup match underway. It could be the last as the New Zealanders aim to make history. The eyes of the sporting world now focused firmly on the Great Sound. Who's got the upper hand in this pre-start game of cat and mouse, Kenny?
Well, you can see that Oracle has chosen to kind of hang back behind Emirates Team New Zealand right now. That gives them more options, believe it or not. If they get overlapped, which they're kind of swirling around right now, that takes away that hook option. I really thought that Spithill would absolutely be going for it right now, but it looks like he's looking to gap off, possibly start towards the top end of the line. Remember, the right-hand end of the line, up at the top of our screen, right up there, that's actually a little bit further away from the first mark, but it's always a faster angle. So let's see if they can make that faster angle work. This time and distance has been a problem for Jimmy Spithill. Let's see if it is today.
So he's pulled the trigger. Has he gone too soon? Looks like it's going to be just fine this time around. And the 2 boats straight up on the foils. The Americans just about in front and tearing towards Mark 1. So critical that Jimmy Spithill and his team got away to a clean start, a quick start.
They have to be first to this mark. Ali, they just have to be. They need it for their own psyche. They need it for just simply their chance to win this race. They need to get over the top of Emirates Team New Zealand for a chance to win this race. And it looks like they might have pulled it off. You see they're actually sailing below the mark right now. There you go. 2 out of 7, I think, in these starts so far. So Spithill finally got one in. Man, did he need it.
Good boat speed from the Americans as well as they turn around the first mark and head downwind for the first time in this race. And the Kiwis in behind them. They've been very happy through the course of our time here in Bermuda to play catch-up. They've bided their time. They've waited for the wind shifts, secure in the knowledge that their boat is quick.
Let's start canting. Stand by. Okay. Happy. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Made.
So Kiwis first to jibe, the Americans right on the boundary.
This is, I think the whole world is just holding their breath if you're an Oracle fan right now. That jibe was so critical. They stayed on their foils, but they're in a very precarious spot right now. Any speed edge to Emirates Team New Zealand, and then they can do a little reversal here and roll over the top. Doesn't seem like Spithill's too concerned, but I'll tell you what, that's really close to being a disastrous spot for Oracle right there.
Let's get to the windward heel, guys. We're pretty low. Yeah, we've got
Neck and neck right now.
And they have gotten over the top. Oracle is in a tough spot. Emirates Team New Zealand just barely bow out, potentially using their wing wash to slow down Oracle. They were quicker off the jibe again, yet again. How many times have we said that in this series?
Face up now. Watch him. Watch out. Watch out.
Just a tiny, this is why we always say the fastest boat wins the America's Cup. That tiny speed edge right there goes from behind to ahead in a heartbeat for Emirates Team New Zealand.
There's the wing wash, which the Kiwis will be hoping will spoil the Americans there and slow them up just sufficiently to allow them to extend their lead at this point. They're going all the way to the ley line, the ideal route in to the gate without any further manoeuvres.
Mate, Albatross. Albatross. Stay here. Okay, stand by.
Into gate 2 with the New Zealanders out in front, looking to claim the trophy, to claim their place in history. the Americans already, even at this early stage in the race, with plenty to do.
An albatross, clearly, we all wanted to find out what an albatross that was there. That was a super difficult maneuver by Oracle, and you can see they're paying dearly in boat speed for having to do that last second spin around the mark. They did it pretty well, but I'll tell you what, that was not pretty and that was not easy to do.
So the New Zealanders leading the race, the Americans taking off in a separate direction to try to chase a little bit of wind and find a way back in here, because that lead is being built all the time by Peter Burling's men.
That split became so critical for Oracle that they decided to do really one of the hardest maneuvers in these boats and match racing, and they need that split to continue to possibly gobble up that lead, because Emirates Team New Zealand is in their standard way. They're not slow and they're not getting any closer. Look at the speed difference, 23 knots to 20 knots right there.
Okay, it's going to probably lift it slowly, but not much.
Pulled back their curtains this morning, they will have known that in these conditions, the Kiwi boat unquestionably has an edge. We've seen it throughout our time here.
Well, Glenn Ashby and Peter Burling, see Glenn Ashby twiddling his knobs there down in the bottom right-hand side of the corner, just kind of trying to do his thing with his box, with the X-box display, controlling the wing shape and trim.
Standing by here.
Foiling tack, such a slick maneuver. And already this lead is looking like a very significant one for Emirates Team New Zealand.
Going out to Freddie Carr in the water. Freddie, the breeze is still around kind of that 8-9 knots. Is there a general trend here?
Yeah, the breeze is still 8-9 knots. It's just like yesterday. There's 2-minute oscillations flicking left and right. Ken, the no-look jibe by the Kiwis on the boundary was unbelievable. Glenn Ashby was halfway across the boat as the boat was getting turned down. That was superb boat handling by the Kiwis.
So we have a no-look jibe and an albatross so far in this race. Ali, we thought we had heard it all, and we haven't.
Well, they're pushing the boundaries. They love it, don't they? The innovators, they've been setting the agenda not just on the course, but off as well, with their designs and their techniques, their tactics.
Yeah. Slowly tick off that way, Blanger. 20 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds. Yep. Let's stand by there, guys. Okay, boys. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Jimmy Spithill, with all of his experience, needing to draw upon the great maturity of it right now. Twice an America's Cup winner in 2010 and 2013.
21s, 22s.
But at the moment, staring down the barrel.
Could be a possible little right-hand wind shift on it. You see up in the upper left-hand corner that the angle of Emirates Team New Zealand kind of curling down. Very often that means the wind shift is going the other way. Looks to me like when these guys come back together again, they're going to be a little bit closer.
Just a little. Will be one to the left here. One.
Keeping it close, Oracle.
Take it up if you've got it. Yep.
On the way, yeah, good pressure now.
Well, we always talk about that 150-meter mark, Ken, as being just about in the realms of being in touch, staying in touch, having the opportunity to turn it around. One mistake and you can edge in front. Get too much beyond that and it becomes much more difficult. We're right on the cusp of that kind of threshold right now.
It's still phenomenal to watch these tacks, how just flawless they've become. How stable the boat becomes, how quickly they fling the thing over.
And once they've maneuvered, the cyclones go to work, generating that power, pushing the oil around the system to allow them a little bit of tactical freedom. Decisions can be made at that point once the power levels are back up where they need them.
Interesting, even in the 9 knots of breeze, they're all on their medium air jibs, their code 2 jibs today. I kind of expected in this lighter breeze, and maybe throw it back out to Freddie for a second. Why aren't they going with their bigger jibs today, Freddie?
Yeah, it's a trend that we've seen throughout this America's Cup. When you're on the long foils, you don't need quite as much sail area in the sky to get them working, and it comes down to drag through the air as well as drag through the water.
Quite a big speed discrepancy between the two boats, obviously currently heading in separate directions. The Kiwis were motoring away from the gate at around 30 knots. The USA struggling into it at around 20. They seem to have leveled off though a little bit here.
30 seconds. Average to right. Average.
What are you picking out of that, Kevin?
Average VMG, look at the VMG difference. You know, it's interesting, the boat speeds, we keep seeing the boat speeds being very similar. Emirates Team New Zealand points higher to the wind. Let's just all be, let's just call it what it is. And by doing that, their average VMG is almost a knot faster around the race course. That's the velocity made good. That's the difference of angle to the mark and speed to the mark. They're just sailing a tighter angle to the mark all the time, both upwind and down.
All business on board Emirates Team New Zealand, all done with the minimum of fuss. There the two wings side by side.
Yeah, you know, the two wing trims are very, very different.
Hey, a little softer.
Again, it's Ashby with that box, no winch, no nothing. He's just sitting there hydraulically controlling it.
Right gate at the moment, 2 yards.
Very often the differences we see are up top. Down low, Kyle Langford probably moves the whole wing around a little bit more, but as we go up, I'm not sure we'll see it as much downwind, but upwind, especially at the very top, that is where the control of Emirates Team New Zealand seems to be substantially different and more efficient than the rest of the teams here. Glenn Ashby's constantly moving the twist of the wing around. Just like if you're in a one design keel boat, for example, pulling the backstay on and letting the backstay off all the time for those sailors out there. Well, that's kind of what Ashby does, and it's been incredibly efficient. It just doesn't trim it in and out conventionally nearly as much as others do.
Great shot from the drone as Glenn Ashby heads across the trampoline, takes the helm for a moment until Peter Burling arrives. And they just have this brilliant distribution of responsibility that works so well for them. Glenn Ashby, the man one in front of Burling, something of a catamaran guru, multiple world champion, and a big influence, by the way, on Jimmy Spithill's development with the multi-hulls.
Yeah, I watched he and Jimmy Spithill crew for him in what was called the Little America's Cup. I believe it's the C-Class World Championship in Newport, Rhode Island. Jimmy Spithill crewing for Glenn Ashby way back when. Seemed like forever ago.
Partners turned adversaries. And the Kiwis through the gates. Upwind one more time. And this time going with an early tack.
This is just to control the race course. Knowing full well that Oracle Team USA was going to have to split and do something. This is a traditional kind of match racing move. You go around the most efficient mark and then you tack early. You're going to give up a little bit of your lead. But you know what? When these guys get around the mark, you're going to be pretty close to the same water and the same puff or wind shift that your competitor is in.
Just over your shoulder. A little bit of speed on here.
You're working, boys.
Okay, let's stand by there, guys.
Keep the build on. Yep, copy. Okay, boys, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Turning, mate. And turning, mate.
The Americans still in touch just about, but they have to be a little concerned at this point with time beginning to tick against them. The defenders of the America's Cup. There will be a quiet realization that this might be over in the not too distant future.
Everything you got on this lap, boys.
Leave it all out, boys.
Faster, boys. Let's dig up.
Nice, boys.
A little fast, Tommy?
Happy 20, yeah. Happy a little fast, just a little.
Probably there, right?
This is good, yeah, no lower.
Lots of positivity, that's good to hear.
Lots of positivity. I think exactly what you would expect to hear from these guys,
A little high
quite
group for
frankly.
this one, and then you got lift coming. Lift in 2, 1. Good pressure there now. Happy VMG again.
Taking a little bit. Yeah.
Nice. Happy to be a little faster still.
Boundaries going quick.
Yeah, 20 seconds. Let's stand by.
Here we go, boys. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Emirates Team New Zealand did those 2 extra tacks at the bottom mark. Certainly gave up a bit of their lead, but
Flattening heel.
I would guess that Emirates Team New Zealand fans are far more comfortable in this position right now with a 150-meter lead than complete opposite sides of the race course with a 250-meter lead. You're vulnerable. Here,
Again, boys.
you're not very vulnerable.
It's that arm's length thing,
Exactly.
keeping them where they want them.
Looking up the backside of these wings again, looking
Good pressure in 2.
to try to prove me correct on Emirates Team New Zealand, but they seem pretty quiet with the top section of the foil right now. We were looking for that hummingbird concept that Freddie Carr introduced to us the other day, and it's not exactly there right now. But listen, this is again what we talked about earlier. This is the one mistake zone, you know? The problem is, Kiwis just don't seem to be making any mistakes. Yeah. Classic match racing right now.
Everything you got, boys.
But he was criticised earlier on in the match itself, wasn't he, Burling, for not covering Jimmy Spithill and Oracle Team USA. Seems to have rectified that in pretty much every department. Simon van Veldhoven, again, right up towards his absolute max heart rate. The bronze medalist from London 2012. New experiences for him out here on the water, as we were telling you earlier. Not least the day that the Kiwi boat disappeared upside down.
Maybe a little bit faster, so we've got a good attack.
1 minute you're cycling, next minute you're gargling.
This is going to be one and in for both boats. Now the Kiwis will make sure they lay the mark. Oracle attacks early again. They're just trying to do anything right now. Desperation again is trying to take over. This is why their grinding is going on all the time. The cyclists creating hydraulic pressure on the Kiwi boat, on the boat on the right, on the boat on the left. Certainly,
A lot better pressure here.
Team USA doing it a little more conventionally with coffee grinding, with the grinding pedestals. One interesting part of this, and maybe we bring Freddie Carr in for a second. One interesting part is the Americans seem to, on the left, the port starboard, that is the board up down. And Freddie, you can help me with this. The board up down is a different, what's called an accumulator, pressure accumulator, than actually moving the appendages around. That's a completely separate entity, and we see that on the right, and that number seems to move a lot more on the American boat.
Good numbers.
That's right, Ken. So you have lift accumulators for dropping and lifting the boards, and then you have a rake accumulator. The big gain that the Kiwis have is they can fill that rake accumulator so quickly and set them up for their next tackle jibe.
Freddie was telling me earlier, he thinks that the Kiwis, now that he's not in the Cup, he can admit that the Kiwis might have about 30% more effort, more pressure.
Yeah, that's right, Ken, about 30%.
So the Kiwis needed one more tack to get into the gate and round. And that means that the USA have gained on them just a little bit.
You know, it's interesting, they have this close tactic. Definitely closed up the lead a little bit, but again, they're in the same water. There's Oracle just again doing everything to get to a different side of the race course. Splitting yet again, choosing to do another tack, anything.
Well, that's a roll of the dice, isn't it?
Absolutely.
By Jimmy Spithill with one downwind leg to go. He's got to roll the dice. He's got to come out punching.
Great pressure here for us.
Peter Burling
Keep the
and the
lap line in,
Kiwis
no
calling the
slow.
shots at the moment, dominating the race
20 to
course.
boundary. Nice, mate. It's like 20. Yeah, copy. Coming down slow. Stand by. One off. Happy? Happy, yours. 4. Happy, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, mate. A little lighter here. Light. Little lighter.
Jive is clean from the Americans. They've looked a little more stable today than at times yesterday, where they were distinctly wobbly.
It's certainly their longer boards are helping. Listen, the Americans through the series have gotten better and better at their tacks, at their jives, at their maneuvers. The problem is the bar has been set very high by that other boat who's just kind of constantly kicking their butt. Let's be frank, it's not. This is a bit of a caning going on here right now in this America's Cup, and quite frankly, something I don't think anybody really anticipated. We anticipated these guys to be good. I don't think anybody anticipated the Kiwis to be this good. Except maybe them.
Peter Burling at the moment with his foot on the American jugular, looking to go in for the kill pretty soon now. Got to admire the calm, the composure, the measured approach which this man has brought to proceedings all across this 5 weeks of racing on the Great Sound. Think back just a few weeks ago to when their boat was in shreds after that dramatic pitch pole. And not just him, of course, the shore team who put it all back together.
And don't forget the millions of Kiwis that are up watching this right now. I think it's about 5 in the morning back on that little island, and they're just licking their chops right now. They're saying, Auckland, here we come.
2 islands, Kenny. 2 islands.
Sorry, 2 islands. Sorry.
Digesting their early morning cornflakes, wiping the sleep from their eyes, and recognizing that their team is close now. Very, very close indeed.
Could be 2 more jibes in, though. Possibly 1 more jibe in. Let's see if they can soak down, because this is kind of an interesting angle into the finish line. Let's see if they can soak and get there.
So the USA desperately trying to chase the Kiwis down, but the game is up. There will be no fairy tale comeback this time around. Jimmy Spithill has lost his magic wand, and in the meantime, the Kiwis, innovative in their design, intense in their focus, resilient throughout the time here in Bermuda. The New Zealanders pedaling into the history books. The America's Cup wrestled from the USA by Burling's men in black. The trophy belongs to New Zealand. All that heartache and pain of San Francisco replaced by jubilation here in Bermuda. And 4.5 million people on the other side of the planet let out an almighty roar. The Americans' challenge is over.
Just turn down,
The
Tommy. You
defense
just
of
turn
their
down. We go
crown
through.
is over.
My wing.
It's been a brave fight. They've done everything within their powers to make it more competitive, but ultimately very well beaten. Great sportsmanship from those on board the 2 boats. And of course, tremendous celebrations can now begin.
Absolutely magic what this team has done. They have broken so many trends. How they trained, where they trained, how they stayed away from the fray. The innovation in a boat that innovations, frankly, were trying to be eliminated. So you can't give this team enough credit.
Well, they have earned their celebrations. Peter Burling, the spearhead, catapulted into a whole new realm of stardom now. The youngest ever helmsman to win the Cup, but he and his men emulating the class of 1995 and 2000. And let's not forget Glenn Ashby, joining the ranks of the greats now. included in one of the most exclusive of clubs, a winning America's Cup skipper.
You got a little gap there.
So let's have a word with Peter Burling, the helmsman who has led the Kiwis to victory. Peter, congratulations. You can let it all out now. Tell us how it feels.
Yeah, it's just unreal. It's exactly what we came here to do. And we just go on top of the world. It's been 3 years of hard work from so many people on the team. There's probably 100 people working at times. Straight at this goal.
Beauty.
And yeah, this is exactly what we came here for. So, we're on top of the world.
Peter, we'll let you soak this up for a second. Can you do us a favor and tell us a little bit, Glenn Ashby, the guy that sits in front of you every day, just give us a little insight into Glenn and what he's done for the program and as the skipper of the boat and kind of the guy who had to take you from that last San Francisco event onto this one.
Yeah, he obviously plays a massive part in what we do, but, Blair as well, trimming the foil, Andy, and everyone on the whole team. You can see how much we're all ecstatic about, what we've managed to achieve here, and we're just absolutely on top of the world, so it's going to be a good night.
It's going to be a good night.
And Peter, I appreciate the bar, Glenn Ashby. You guys weren't involved in San Francisco in 2013, but I'm sure that there are plenty in behind you for whom that was a major motivation. Just tell us what it means to lay that ghost to rest.
Oh, for sure, and I definitely don't think we'd be here without that heartache of San Francisco, and it's something that Bermuda's put on an absolutely amazing event here. You can't complain. The weather's been absolutely perfect, and it's something that we're just absolutely blown away by the support we've been getting on shore and back home, and we're really excited to share it with everyone now.
Peter, many congratulations. Enjoy your celebrations. It's been great watching you.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
And those celebrations will surely last long into the night. And after all the hours of training, the sacrifices that have been made, the time away from home, the intensity of this competition over the last 5 weeks, this champagne will taste pretty good.
I think what he said was it's going to be a big night. That could be. This kid has been the master of understatement. That might have been the biggest one yet.
So we pause for the Moet moment as Grant Dalton emerges, the CEO of Emirates Team New Zealand. Very much a guiding light.
Matteo Denora, the team principal.
We're gonna do it.
Time to party.
Pop them all over New Zealand. Come on, let's go. Nobody's going to work in New Zealand today. If you don't want to get soaked with that champagne, that you're not thinking very clearly. Fantastic.
Nice, boys. Cazzo di merda.
Well, it's a wonderful moment to be enjoyed. They have earned it. They have dug in. And they have just come through in such wonderful style. Barely troubled, if we're honest, during the match itself. Let's remember, they arrived with -1 point to their name on account of the Americans winning the qualifying stage. So a tremendous effort. So let's have a word with Jimmy Spithill. Jimmy, commiserations. I know you will feel this very keenly, but what are your emotions right now?
Oh, look, we're disappointed, obviously. But first of all, full credit to Team New Zealand. I mean, man, what a series. Really, made few mistakes, and they fully deserve it. So our hats are off to them.
Jimmy, Team New Zealand showed up with a little different boat from everybody else. You guys all, the rest of the group did a lot of training together, kind of followed a similar path. Team New Zealand departed. Did you have a feeling that they might be onto something when they showed up here and kind of was showing off their cool new toys?
I think it's always hard to know. There's always that anticipation, and they clearly, they were down there training on their own, and man, you've really got to give credit to them. I mean, what an incredible job they've done. But let's not forget, they also sailed very, very well.
First jibe, I mean, here you go. You're leading that mark #1, first jibe. Faster boat or a little soft in the maneuver? Take us through that moment, and was the writing on the wall right there?
Yeah, look, I mean, we were obviously pretty focused on getting to that reef mark in first place today. And The boys did a great job there. Yeah, unfortunately they were the quicker boat today downwind for sure. It was very, very tough to keep close. I thought upwind the boats are a lot more competitive. I thought the boys were doing a great job tacking, but downwind they had the speed.
Well, Jimmy, it's been fun to watch all this. I mean, reflect. My goodness, how many America's Cups in a row now? And what's the future for Jimmy Spithill? Just take us for at least the next couple weeks and maybe couple months. How do you get over this? How does this work?
I'm not sure. I've just spent so much time and energy on really just one day at a time. But yeah, we'll just get back. I really want to go and thank the entire team, and we'll take it from there. But the boys have got to hold their heads up high. They fought hard the whole way. Very proud of them, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks very much, though, boys. Appreciate it.
Jimmy, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on a tremendous campaign. As we said to Peter Burling, it's been fantastic watching you. So real emotion in the voice of Jimmy Spithill, and you can only imagine the emotion swirling in his head right now. Here's the race summary as a whole, and the Americans got off to a good start, which has not been the story of this match.
Well, we said they had to, first of all, and they were on their lighter air boards today. We know for a fact they're not super fond of them. They really like the modifications that they did to their other boards, but you know what? It appears to me, and I think it appeared to everybody today, it wasn't going to matter. Where USA started, the faster boat went on to win the race yet again.
So in the end, 8 victories in all in this match for the New Zealanders. They win it by 7 points to 1. So let's have a look at the race itself in a little more detail. Here are some of the best bits of it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a super aggressive start by Jimmy, but at the same time, he got the end of the line with that faster angle into the mark and just barely gets over the top of Emirates Team New Zealand. Listen, we said they had to be ahead of Mark 1. They were ahead of Mark 1. Here's the race. This first jibe, really close to the boundary for Oracle. Imagine if the boundary had been touched, but fortunately, that's not part of the picture. This is a drag race, and a drag race always wins. The faster boat always wins. And once these guys get ahead, we saw they were flawless. Their tacks, their jibes, their maneuvers, wherever they could possibly stumble. And you know what else? They sailed a different race today, Emirates Team New Zealand. Once they got ahead, you can tell the clamps were on. They got themselves in very similar water all the time to Oracle Team USA. Going downwind and into the finish, like Jimmy said, they were quick downwind, especially today. They were gone, and here's where it was pretty clear the writing was on the wall, and into the finish of a historical moment. This kid Burling has no idea how his life has just changed. When he goes back to New Zealand, the adoration that the sailing world, that the sporting world is going to have for this team. Spectacular job by a great group of guys.
So for the whole team, enormous relief as well as excitement and a degree of jubilation. Peter Burling, Glenn Ashby, Blair Tuke, Andy Maloney, Josh Jr. and Simon van Veldhoven, the guys who brought it home. And many of them, as Kenny was mentioning, graduates of the Red Bull Youth America's Cup from 2013. Here's how they greeted their victory as the race progressed.
Bad luck, boys.
Bad luck, boys. Bad luck, Langers. Nice one, mate. Bad luck, mate. Nice work. Bad luck, mate. Cheers, Kirsty. Bad luck, mate. Nice work, boys.
So the contrasting emotions of the winners and the losers. That's sport for you. It's tough. It's very, very tough when you're in the corner that Jimmy Spithill is currently occupying, but he has had more than his fair share of success, and no doubt he'll be back for more of the same, maybe in a different guise, maybe in a different boat. Who knows what the future holds for all of these guys, and indeed for the competition as a whole, as the America's Cup goes forward to the next installment. And if we remember rightly, for 132 years, the America's Cup was won by just one country, America. But in 1987, the deadlock was finally broken and a new age of international defenders began, with one nation in particular indelibly inked into the competition ever since. So let's take a look at some of the key numbers from the match as a whole, Ken.
Yeah, let's just go right here. Downwind speed, crushing by Emirates Team New Zealand today, and then that turned into average speed, almost a knot faster. You're not going to beat anybody if you're going a knot faster around the race course. And fastest boat always wins the America's Cup, folks. Everybody's been saying it. Nothing has changed. This is the, we kind of got on. We were allowed to start using this a little too late. This is Oracle Team USA. This is the pressure that they provide on those grinders during the race. You see the red and green line? That's the up down of the dagger boards. That's it. That's all that is. And they pump it up at the beginning of the race, and it slowly gets used as the boards go up and down. Very different on Emirates Team New Zealand. They can pump pressure into all their accumulators all the time. They definitely have more power through those bicycles. Everybody says it now, and up to 30% more. Pretty impressive by the Kiwis. As always, the innovation of the Kiwis. And then we go to the entire series. Listen, upwind speed, downwind speed. there's nothing on here that's surprising at all. A knot around the race course, an average speed, better VMG. Listen, it is something that's very clear. You can have the best sailors in the world very typically average themselves out in an America's Cup. The faster boat is always the platform you want to be on because it's the dominant factor.
So we can talk now with Glenn Ashby, who's the skipper of Emirates Team New Zealand. Glenn, many congratulations. This must feel really good. We did a little bit of homework ahead of today because you are now a member of a very, very special club, aren't you? There are only 7, up until today, only 7 living America's Cup skippers. That's the same number of living human beings that have walked on the moon. It's got to feel good, huh?
Yeah, look, it's it's absolutely been an amazing journey for us as a team, and personally, just that feeling of sort of relief, I guess, right at the moment, and immense satisfaction that as a fantastic group of people and a fantastic team that we've actually been able to, pull off almost the unimaginable, against all odds from a few years ago, regrouping and getting over here late. And scrambling and managed to pull it off. So absolutely unbelievable feeling.
Glenn, give the world a little bit of a look into some of your meeting room discussions when you guys decided to just completely go in a different direction from everybody else on the wing trim, on the foil shapes, on how you actually sailed the boat with these bicyclers. How hard were those decisions, or as you went down the road, did it just become super obvious?
Yeah, no, look, we knew with this format that we had to be extremely innovative and extremely aggressive with our design philosophy. We sort of all, as a group, agreed and recognised, I guess, where the bar will eventually get with our sport, and we tried to fast-track that learning process as much as we possibly could. And the cycling system, the wing control system that we have, and also the foil control system is very, very different, I think, to what all our opponents have been using. And I think that has certainly been, was a big risk, I guess, but we knew we had to risk big to be able to ultimately win this America's Cup.
And were there naysayers within the group? I mean, was it a debate, or was it very clear and obvious to all involved?
No, look, we had a huge amount of debating at the time where we had to make a lot of those difficult decisions. We were just a very, very small group, very, very tight core group of designers and sailors, and together we sort of really, threw it out there, and we all had to believe that this was the right way forwards. And I just feel very, very fortunate to be involved with such a great group of people that were open-minded enough on the way through to be able to make those hard decisions, which they were at the time, very hard decisions, to take the path that we did. But as we saw today, we got most of them right, so very, very happy.
And Glenn, as the only man on board who was there in 2013 and suffered at the hands of the USA, for you personally, what does this mean to have put that to bed?
Yeah, look, it's we a few years ago it was absolutely brutal, for the team, and it was a hard pill to swallow, and for myself and a lot of the other guys that are with the team this time round, it is a great redemption, and just a relief, to, I guess, right the wrongs of the last campaign, and we obviously learned a lot out of that campaign. And we put our best foot forward as best we possibly could for this campaign, and for all the guys involved, I think there'll be a lot of proud yachties from New Zealand and a lot of proud Kiwis today, with what's been achieved, over the past few years.
No doubt about that. Many thanks for your time,
Huge
Glenn.
Congratulations,
well
Glenn.
done.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Well, we came into this 35th America's Cup with high expectations. We expected high speeds, heart-stopping action, and some of the most exhilarating racing that this competition had ever seen, and we've certainly had that. But what is it like to sail one of these high-speed racing machines? Who better to ask than this year's helmsman? Oh, whoa! Well, if you like a roller coaster, you'd like to be on one of those right now.
The boat really takes you out of your comfort zone. It's a boat that's very, very difficult to get right. You can't really react. You kind of need to anticipate the whole time.
They're really, I suppose, dynamic is a good word to describe it. And if you our steering badly, it makes a massive difference.
Wow. This is when it could become serious.
The fact is these boats are inherently unstable. If you're unstable, that is the fastest foil package you can do.
Stunning boat handling.
And look at the boat speed.
Top speeds are up to 45, almost 50 knots, you know, almost 60 miles an hour. So very, very fast. So closing speeds, you basically double it.
Well, we told you it would be white knuckle ride.
Everyone kind of throws out some pretty big numbers, but I think the most impressive thing for me is, you know, how quick they go in more light wind. And, you know, in 6 knots, you're doing over 20s upwind and over 30s on the reach.
The G-force is incredible. I mean, it's no surprise to me that a lot of us have gone off the boat and been thrown off. It is literally like being on the top of a car and someone just turning it doing 50 miles an hour.
Man overboard on Sweden.
Is that Nathan Aldridge?
To be honest, you're always pretty nervous when you are around the top speeds on these boats, and you know, if you make one small incorrect decision, then you know you end up on your side.
Oh, they're taking a terrible nosedive. Oh my goodness me.
You are pushing these boats so hard that it is always going to happen at some stage.
Oh, there's a big collision between the two boats.
There's no question it's dangerous. I mean, you'd have to look at the track record, but I think for a lot of guys now, that's part of the attraction. I mean, if it wasn't tough, if it wasn't challenging, it wouldn't be as rewarding.
What a crazy day on Bermuda's Great Sand. Well, it's been an awful lot of fun out here on the Great Sound over the course of the last 5 weeks or so, and drinks are being taken, I think, at this point.
Steinlager or two. Well deserved.
A really tough campaign for everybody involved. So much hard work, so much time spent at the coalface. So these moments are special, need to be soaked up. So we're going to hear now from Peter Burling's parents, Richard and Heather Burling, who have been here today to see their son bring the America's Cup back to New Zealand.
Richard and Heather Burling, mum and dad, how proud are you right now?
I'm incredibly proud of Peter, but I'm incredibly proud of the whole team that's been behind him. This has been a massive, massive team effort. You know, the capsize feels like a year and a half ago. It's only 2 weeks. You know, things feel pretty bad for a while, and now they've been out and won the America's Cup for New Zealand. The whole country's behind us. It's amazing.
Okay.
Peter Burling and Blair Tuke, a little bit of a good year, a gold medal in the Olympics, an America's Cup win. It's a rumor has it that Blair Tuke might be going and trying to win a Volvo Ocean race as well. So that would be the big three at a very young age.
Amazing. Would be something, wouldn't it? But for Heather and Richard Burling, a very special day. They bought Peter his first boat at the age of 6, a $200 piece of you-know-what is what it was described as. And that seems to have paid off in spades. I think they got value for their investment, don't
That
they?
is for sure. His life is officially changed.
Well, in the glare of the spotlight, under the intense pressure and scrutiny only reserved for the defenders of the America's Cup, Jimmy Spithill's men have battled the Kiwis, as we've seen, with grit and determination, but ultimately they have come up short here. And you have to wonder, what must it be like to be on board the American boat right now? Where do you turn for inspiration at a time like this? Perhaps to one of America's most inspirational presidents, John F. Kennedy.
I really don't know.
So there's Sir Russell Coutts, the CEO of the America's Cup Event Authority, simultaneously CEO of Oracle Team USA, 5 times part of the America's Cup winning team, 3 times a skipper, of course, never lost a race in the America's Cup in his career as a skipper, Ken. That is some record to be proud of.
Well, that's the GOAT. That's the GOAT call right there, the greatest of all time. A lot of people have won a lot of races, a lot of America's Cups, but never to have lost a race while skippering a boat in the finals of an America's Cup is just an unreal statistic.
Yeah, not a match, a race.
A race.
One race.
I always say that for a lot of us who are about the same age as Russell, we were trying to do it when Tiger Woods was trying to do it. You know, it was that type of, he was that good, you know, in his prime.
Well, there he is clapping in the American team, and the Kiwis to follow shortly. He's put on quite a show here. It's been a fabulous spectacle. Couldn't have asked for a better venue. The pictures beamed all around the globe have been nothing short of sensational.
There's always a lot of talk about what Larry Ellison and Russell Coutts have done to the modern America's Cup. No matter what kind of boats are used, and these are the big decisions going forward now. Now that the Kiwis will be in control, there's all kinds of talk about what kind of boats, when, I'm sure we all know where. But, hey, these guys have changed the America's Cup permanently on how this, for example, the television and all the great men and women that we've been able to provide the TV with is all because of Larry Ellison and Russell Coutts' dream to bring sailing to the world in a way that it's never been seen before. And, oh, my goodness, is that mission accomplished.
And the sailors, of course, have played such a vital role in all of that. They have embraced this challenge in every possible way. And Jimmy Spithill has led the charge. He's been great value throughout. He's always good value in the press conferences.
He calls a spade, you know. One thing about Jimmy and one thing about leadership that's very clear is that he always felt he could back up the talk, you know, and walk the walk, so to speak. And he didn't mind giving you his mind. He never does. And good for him. The people that have to show the sport off to the rest of the world, they have to have a bit of vibrant, kind of a good gut feel towards what they're doing and what they're telling the rest of the world with regard to our sport. And they're in charge, and Peter Burling's now in charge. Glenn Ashby is in charge. Jimmy Spithill has done a really nice job while it's been under his term.
There's the boat of Larry Ellison, the Supremo at the head of Oracle Team USA. Invested so much, not just financially, but emotionally, no doubt as well. He'll have been through the ringer over the course of the last few weeks out here. Everybody involved with these teams has lived and breathed every single moment.
The emotion. Imagine, you know, let's go back to San Francisco, what these guys lived through in San Francisco and then here, and it's never easy. Sports is never easy.
So the 2 men who made it happen embrace.
Class act.
Watches on.
Yeah, class act. The 2 of them sitting there waiting for the Kiwis to come in, congratulating their own team. They know the effort that's been put in. They know.
Well, there have been 24-hour shifts and plenty of them, haven't there?
They got beat by the better team in this event. They know it, and but that doesn't mean you can't be exceptionally proud of the effort that your squad put in just to get you to this point.
He's right, of course. You can't win them all.
Emotion.
Very testing moment, isn't it, to know how to handle these sort of times. But it's part and parcel of being a top-level sportsman, and they are handling themselves with real grace and class. Provided so much entertainment for so many through these weeks here on the Great Sound of Bermuda. Getting a warm reception, as you would expect.
Massive crowds here again in Bermuda today, and I'm sure televised all around the world.
So throughout history, this unique competition has attracted the world's best, from businessmen to designers to engineers to anyone who's risen to the top of their trade. The America's Cup represents the ultimate challenge, but it is the roll call of sailors which is perhaps the most impressive, and few have etched their names into the America's Cup history books quite like the New Zealand sailing legend Russell Coutts.
Russell was the man when we were all down in sailing dinghies. You know, we'd all be watching the match racing and and that team and that sort of aura that his group had, and you all sort of aspired to do that. The results don't lie. It's pretty clear. He really has been on another level in regards to anyone in the America's Cup.
He's obviously incredibly focused, very, very determined. Obviously got a fantastic sort of ability to get the best out of a team, and you look at the results, they certainly stack up pretty convincingly that he's got a lot of the ingredients right.
I had great success with the teams I was involved with. We were in a core group of individuals that were very close in terms of the way we worked together. We developed that over years, many years, and so we were definitely a force to be reckoned with on the water. The people selection is the most critical decisions you will make in the whole campaign. Obviously you need talent, that goes without saying, but you also need to develop that chemistry amongst those people that actually works.
He's very tough, very fair. Someone that'll be honest with you. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks, but vice versa, he'll also listen. If you want to have the same amount of candor with him, he's definitely open to that, and I think that's, at the end of the day, what produces the best solution.
Past events where people have said, oh, the sailing team was good, but the design was no good. I just can't accept that. If that chemistry doesn't work, you will of course never optimise the technology and the way the technology is applied.
The best athletes in the world are always the guys that can do it, not with just one team, but with multiple teams and different cultures and different people. He for sure will go down as essentially one of the visionaries that got the game to where it is today. And, it was a big part of the pathway for the next generation. Youth America's Cup, junior programs now, Endeavour programs. For he, it's about a legacy as well.
Well, the legacy is there, that's for sure. And talk about some of those youngsters graduating. The likes of Andy Maloney, Blair Tuke and Peter Burling, all coming through the Red Bull Youth America's Cup from 4 years ago to lift the big one here today. The Kiwis victorious. And of course, Kenny, life has now changed for these guys, particularly for those who've been in the spotlight, the likes of Peter Burling and Glenn Ashby. When they get back to New Zealand, life will be very different.
We just saw it in that video for Sir Peter Blake, for Sir Russell Coutts, is Sir Peter Burling around the corner, these are athletic heroes now. These are not sailing heroes. These are athletic heroes, and especially in a nation like New Zealand, which has so many routes that just spread out into the sea. Good luck, fellas. You're not going and buying many bottles of milk in the local store without somebody asking for an autograph.
Yeah, I think those little trips have changed a good deal. There is Russell Coutts welcoming the Kiwis back.
And Larry Ellison.
The shore. Again, further classy gestures from people who were properly invested in every possible way in the American cause here in Bermuda. And now we wonder what happens next to the America's Cup. If life has changed for Peter Burling and Glenn Ashby and the rest of that crew, life will change for the next project, the next iteration.
That is tradition. That's exactly right. I mean, when the Cup changes hands, it takes on a whole new demeanor. I mean, there's in essence a new set of rules that can be created. There's the deed of gift, of course, that governs the America's Cup, but then there's the protocol, which will be between a challenger of record, a new challenger of record, that will work together with Emirates Team New Zealand on what is the next America's Cup going to look like. And if history tells us anything, it's going to be different. Just a few Kiwi. There's a lot of Kiwi fans around here, by the way. I know Burley kept telling us there's a lot of, well, strange Kiwi fans around here for sure. But there's a lot of flags. It is impressive. He's right. When he tells you how many flags are around Bermuda, he's not fibbing.
Well, it means a huge amount, doesn't it? Of course it does. And the New Zealanders are so proud of their sporting achievements. The All Blacks dominate proceedings over there a little bit, and currently they're on top of the British and Irish Lions in their Test series, but this is going to mean a huge amount to the North and to the South Island. Tremendous support. They travel in vast numbers.
Should we go out again and say that there's nobody who's allowed to go to work in New Zealand today? Should we make that proclamation as the Australian Prime Minister did when Australia too won in 1983?
Every chance. Every chance.
That guy's tried. He's won a couple around the world races, and listen, Grant Dalton, he's been the bedrock of this team really since Sir Peter Blake passed the torch, and this has to be a very satisfying moment for him.
All those boys, all those girls too, in behind them. Special moments for family members, Pete's mother and father, Heather and Richard, who have traveled all this way. It must be almost overwhelming. The success just coming thick and fast right now in the Burling household.
Just a gold medal in an America's Cup, and what's next? These guys are just starting.
26 years old, Peter Burling, America's Cup rookie, but a rookie no more. Earmarked, of course, from such a long time ago as a potential great of this fine sport. Golden boy of New Zealand, sailing the flag bearer for the Kiwis at the 2016 Rio Olympics. And cast your mind back a few years further, beating under 16s at the age of just 11, world sailing champion at the age of 15. So the trajectory has been a very sharp one.
When Russell Coutts proclaims that you may be the new face of sailing, that's all you need to hear.
So there is the Chief Executive of Emirates Team New Zealand, Grant Dalton. And there's a medal or two.
Just spectacular. And again, the scene here in Bermuda, thousands of fans came out on a Monday to witness history. That's really what we're all here for when it all comes down to it. So, you know, witness sporting history.
So the crowd's gathered waiting for the presentation ceremony, which will begin very shortly. The moment that everybody has been waiting for. The moment that Kiwis get to get their hands on the oldest international sporting trophy. Just so much history and tradition.
You wonder at this stage, Ali, if the challenger of record has actually been, that proclamation has been had, whether it's been signed yet, and we move on.
So the presentation will be shortly upon us, and Tucker Thompson will guide us through all of that. In the meantime, we're going to have a quick look at the match highlights.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tucker Thompson, host of the America's Cup, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the official prize-giving ceremony of the 35th America's Cup match presented by Louis Vuitton. This day has been 166 years in the making, and this event has been an amazing journey filled with excitement, drama, surprises, and upsets, and in the end, the best team has won. Today, the America's Cup will be awarded to the winner. Now, Bermuda, you have shown us why you are one of the best venues the America's Cup has ever seen. We have to begin with a huge thank you to all of you from Bermuda. Congratulations. And now, representing Bermuda, please welcome the Honorable Michael Dunkley, the Premier of Bermuda, and Dr. Grant Gibbons, the Minister of Economic Development. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the runner-up of the 35th America's Cup match presented by Louis Vuitton, Oracle Team USA! gentlemen, we'll hear from the helmsman and skipper of Oracle Team USA, Jimmy Spithill.
Well, firstly, on behalf of the team, I'd really like to tribute and really congratulate Emirates Team New Zealand. What an incredible team. They really were a class above for this America's Cup. They outsailed us, they had a great boat, and all we can do is take our hats off and congratulate them. So, well, guys, really well done. I'd really like to thank my team. I mean, man, these guys here on the boat, they fought the whole way. In their minds, it wasn't over. We really thought we could take it to these guys and really felt we had a chance to win every time we went out in the water. Our shore team, our supporters, man, the blood, sweat and tears those guys put in for us is incredible, and I really thank them, our friends, our families. And finally, I'd really like to thank one guy, and that's Larry Ellison, for, when we started this journey, it's been one hell of a ride, and if you guys can see the show we've got today now, man, Larry, thank you very much. And to Bermuda, well, look, I really wish I was here saying something different, but look, you guys, you welcomed us into your home, onto this beautiful island. It's been fantastic, and we've loved every single minute of it, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Oracle Team USA and Minister Gibbons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we bring up the winning team, it is my great honor to present the oldest trophy in all of international sports, the America's Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome to the main stage the winner of the 35th America's Cup, Emirates Team New Zealand!
All I ever is the clock, tick, tick, tick. So I'm about my business and I'm running with you now. They don't want to give it up, we gon' make it out. Got to get it while I'm living. All I ever hear is the clock, tick, tick, ticking. So I'm about my business and I'm running with it now. They don't wanna give it up, we gon' make it out. It don't get no greater, feel like I'm on fire. Feel like I'm Johnny Storm, feel like I'm volatile, explosive. Get close enough, you notice. Your girl act out of character when she see me approaching. Ain't poaching, I'm just saying, it's nothing. You punching above your weight.
The winners of the America's Cup will now be presented with special America's Cup capsule collection bags Dunkley, and introduce to you the skipper of Emirates Team New Zealand to say a few words, Glenn Ashby.
Look, yeah, thanks very much. It's been an amazing journey for Emirates Team New Zealand, and it's really been one of those rocky roads over the last few years that's definitely aged you much more than the 4 years that it's been in between the two campaigns. But the guys standing here behind me and also our group in front have absolutely fought tooth and nail right the way through this campaign, and we were very much a small group for a long time, and to come through and win this bloody trophy after 4 years of hard work is a big credit to the team. Obviously, it's it's not just us here. There's a lot of people back in New Zealand that have been working for us and supporting us. It's been a massive journey, not just for the team itself, but for all our supporters, our sponsors, our patrons, Mateo, Stephen Tyndall, Bob Field, Board of Directors, absolutely had faith in the team going forwards. And also, for the rest of our supporters back home, who are obviously, put a huge effort into supporting the team to actually get us here to Bermuda. An absolutely fantastic effort, so I thank them all very, very much. Also, I'd like to thank Bermuda. We've met some fantastic people along the way here. Thank you so much for having us. An absolute amazing venue for a sailing event. We came here a lot later than everyone, obviously, but have absolutely loved this place and would love to come back for a visit some stage in the future. Thank you. Also like to pass on our heartiest congratulations to Oracle Team USA today. We had a fantastic battle with those guys, and they certainly set the bar for the vast majority of the sailing here in Bermuda, and they were fantastic competitors. And to Jimmy and the boys and Larry and Russell, it's nice to share it around. Thank you guys, well done. I'd also like to just pass on my big thanks to all the families of all the teams that have supported their partners, wives, girlfriends, husbands, brothers, sisters, all the way through. It's a massive commitment for a very, very long time. So to all the families who've come across and supported everyone, thank you very, very much. Fantastic effort, thanks. And just in closing, I'd just like to pass on my very sincere congratulations also to Ian Murray and his race management team for putting on some fantastic racing. We didn't miss a race the whole way through the series, and the courses were absolutely brilliant. So to Ian and the team in ACEA, thank you very much.
Thank you, Glenn Ashby. Now, if you and Peter Burling would take a position on the podium behind the America's Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, after all the hard work and determination, this is the moment this team has been waiting for. Finally, their chance to raise the oldest trophy in all of international sport. Ladies and gentlemen, we now present the America's Cup to Emirates Team New Zealand! Now presented with limited edition bottles of Moet and Chandon for the official Moet moment. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 35th America's Cup, Emirates Team New Zealand!
Magic moments then for the New Zealanders. Great scenes of Kiwi happiness out there and classy reactions from both of those who spoke, in particular Jimmy Spithill and Glenn Ashby. Spithill conceding that they had been outsailed, that the New Zealanders were a class above, and the necessary thanks from Glenn Ashby, and a recognition that it is nice to share it around, Ken.
I think, hey, these guys have been through a lot, and you can just see just a little bit of happiness up there on the stage right now. It's going to be, as Peter Burling so succinctly said, a long night.
Only right and proper that everybody gets their moment.
Absolutely.
Everybody gets their hands on the prize. Can't stress enough the importance of everybody in the back rooms of these teams, because it is an obsession, isn't it? It becomes an obsession. Starts as a passion, and it overtakes your life.
Well, I remember way back when, in 1995, Team New Zealand kind of completely changed the game with regard to sailor, shore team management integration, and that's why they call it Team New Zealand. It was a team. Russell Coutts handed off the helm to Dean Barker in the final race of their winning 2000 Cup, and you just don't do that unless you're a team. So this is a team. This is Team New Zealand. They should be very proud.
I'm feeling for the guys in the Kiwi suits, because they've got to be roasting hot. 85 degrees outside, around about 185 degrees inside the suit.
You know what's going to be the front and center photo in everybody's home for the rest of their lives, of all the people holding this trophy up on stage. Very proud. Imagine the long hours. Imagine the thoughts going through everybody's head on this team, on this stage right now, when that boat catapulted into the Great Sound upside down. I mean, how close to pure disaster the program was, and look where it turns out.
It was an extraordinary recovery, wasn't it, from all sides, from the sailors and, of course, from those who pieced it all back together again. And I'm struggling to think of another sport, Ken, where it takes quite so long to reach this magnificent conclusion. It kind of enables everybody's emotions to go on this roller coaster. You experience every single part of your being, don't you? You have those amazing highs, you have those terrible lows, and absolutely everything in between.
Well, Glenn Ashby said the perfect thing. It's not just the people on the stage. The poor families go through it, I think maybe even worse, because mom or dad or uncle or aunt or whoever is coming home from work from Team New Zealand every day is just wearing it on their sleeve. A good day is a great day. A bad day is a horrendous day. And the families and how they battle through this stuff is just as important as the athletes themselves.
And Daddy's coming home now. Finally.
Daddy, you might find him later tonight. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, maybe bank on tomorrow at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, there will be a lot of very happy children across every camp. Families everywhere that will celebrate, but will be very grateful to have their family members back with them again, having been putting it in day after day, night after night.
Ray Davies, right, just shown right there, kind of took on the coaching role when, imagine, he's one of the best tacticians in the world, but the physicality of these boats kind of eliminated his position. He wasn't big enough and strong enough to pump the oil through the system, and never could get. He's a small guy in just in physical size, but imagine that one of the best tacticians in the world just tossing his hat in the ring, saying, "Hey guys, I'll go off the boat. I'll just become a coach." And that's the type of mentality that a lot of these guys have to have, and hats off to them.
And how great that they've managed to blend those different generations so beautifully. You've got the Dukes and the Burlings of this world who are learning from the best, from the masters.
Murray Jones, I can't even count how many cups Murray Jones has been a part of. Another one of the coaches, how many cups that guy has won, whether on the boat or off the boat in the coaching role now. And listen, the tradition and the history of the America's Cup in New Zealand is thick, and it's about to get thicker.
Fabulous moments. Memories to treasure forever for everybody involved in the Kiwi team. So as we arrive at the conclusion of this historic competition and we look out at the crystal clear waters of the Great Sound for one final time, of all the locations from which we could have brought you the 35th America's Cup, I think it is fair to say few could have rivaled the sheer beauty of this incredible island. Beautiful Bermuda. We've said it every day out here for a month now, but this idyllic island nation really has been the perfect setting for the 35th America's Cup. Warm Atlantic sunshine, white sandy beaches, and Bermuda's trademark hospitality. What more could you ask for from a host venue?
This is the best venue. We have a perfect view of the finish line, and having the Jumbotron is just amazing. You don't miss a minute of the race. They have done an incredible job hosting this race. Everything is just top-notch. Beautiful weather, beautiful people, beautiful sailing, and great wind.
For both the fans in the grandstand and those of us watching at home, Bermuda has served up the perfect race course. Flat water and variable, shifty winds have combined to offer the sailors of this America's Cup a challenging puzzle to solve. So not only have we witnessed some of the most dramatic racing action this ancient competition has ever seen, but the Great Sound has been more than just a backdrop to this sporting story. It's been a character in it. We'll be sad to say goodbye, but for everything Bermuda has given this edition of the oldest trophy in world sport, the 35th America's Cup will surely be remembered as one of the most spectacular. So it is all over. 5 weeks of fun in the Bermudian sun, 5 weeks of epic sailing, of drama and excitement, heartache and euphoria. The 35th America's Cup belongs to the brilliant New Zealanders who will now shape the plans for the next instalment. It's been wonderful to have you all with us for the ride. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. From Ken Reid and me, Alistair Eakin, it's goodbye from Bermuda. To Bermuda and the 35th America's Cup. Only one team will emerge victorious.
America's Cup is obviously the fastest, most extreme, athletic boats you can get on.
If you win the America's Cup, then you can really say that you're one of the greats in the sport of sailing.
It's so unreal, and I pinch myself so often to think that I'm actually involved in it.
Regardless of whether you're a defender or a challenger, you've still got to go out there onto that battlefield and perform.
No, it'll be a massive thing for us to be able to try and bring that back to New Zealand.
All that preparation, all that hard work about to be put to the test. Two of the big dogs going at it. It's gone the way of the Americans.
Oh, there's a big collision between the two boats.
Hand-to-hand combat. That is just what it is out there on the water.
Be brave!
It's like a lethal game of chicken.
Wait a second, we have a penalty.
Wait!
Some angry Swedes out there right now.
The Kiwis, oh, they're taking a terrible nosedive. Oh my goodness me. Crisis time for New Zealand.
Man overboard on Sweden.
Is that Nathan Aldridge?
Okay, right, where have you been?
The winner of the Challenger Playoffs, Emirates Team New Zealand!
It's been tough sitting on the sideline watching that racing. I think we're going to see it go to another level.
So here we go. This is what everybody has been waiting for. Jimmy Spithill's Americans defending their crown against Peter Burling's New Zealanders. The match is on. And right now, the Kiwis are hammering the Americans. 4 races, 4 wins. They are cleaning up. USA now have huge amount of work to do.
Just sights we've never seen before. Amazing new camera angles. There's drones flying. There's helicopters everywhere. There's cameramen on boats.
You can't really hide anything out there on the water.
There's no escape.
There's no escape.
Well, this is as tight as it gets right now.
We wanted a sailboat race. We got a sailboat race. Americans speeding away.
There is hope in the USA camp.
It's only just beginning, mate.
All of a sudden, Team New Zealand has Oracle in a really bad spot.
Peter Burling outfoxed Jimmy Spithill. And the Kiwis hurtling into match point. Race number 9 of the America's Cup match underway. It could be the last.
They have gotten over the top.
There will be no fairy tale comeback this time around. The America's Cup wrestled from the USA by Burling's men in black.